So in today's webinar, we are very glad to have with us Ms. Chan Yan from Navitas. She will be covering some fundamental knowledge about studying in Australia and how a foundation or diploma pathway with Navitas Australia would benefit students like yourself. If you have questions along the way, please type them in the chat and we will address your questions at the end of the webinar. So sit back, relax, and let's bring on Yan. Over to you, Yan.
Okay, thank you, Joey. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. As I mentioned, I'm Ryan. I'm the regional manager for Navitas. And basically, what I will do a share screen now. Without further ado, let me start off with the presentations. So basically, after IGCSE, SPM, or even A-levels, what are the choices that you would think that you would like to do, especially options in Australia? I will say that basically today's session is about choosing the right options for your studies in Australia with Navitas. So we have a lot of different options available for IGCSE student, SPM, or even UEC and A-level students also as well. So what I will do is I will give you a very short overview about Navitas, because that is very often that students and parents ask us, like, who is Navitas? So basically, currently, we have about 70,000 aspiration learners with us throughout the globe, with over 7,000 employees dedicated in terms of administrative as well as academic. We operate in 31 countries with more than 120 colleges and campuses across the globe. And we also committed a lot on the CSR also as well. So what is Navitas is about? Navitas, we are actually an education organization where we bring students with we connect students with a seamless transition where students will experience the on-campus experience. Because all our programs that we offer, whether it's foundation or the year one program, all are actually conducted on the campus of the institution or the university. So you will have the first-hand experience and the access to the university facilities like accommodation, library, computer labs, gym, and you can join their club and society also as well. Another thing that at Navitas we committed is that we provide a lot of personalized supports. Personalized supports can come in the terms of academic, even emotionally, or even we talk about languages also as well. And the other thing that we actually ensure that the students will have an experience that is more class size experience. A lot of the students sometimes when the time they transition to the university, they might find it very daunting to go into the class size like 400, 500 students in the lectures. So for us, even lecture classes and tutorial, we do not have more than 30 students per class. So students really, have a small size experience. At the same time, our academic will be able to identify what are the support you need along the way to make you succeed at the university later on. And the other thing, definitely, we offer a wide range of options available in foundation or the year one program for you to progress on to the university. So at Navitas, our pathways options we available for you will be foundation, diploma, year one, pre-master program, as well as definitely when you graduate, you are joining the university at the university status also as well. So for students, if you look at the chart here at Navitas, we have the three different pathways that you can see in apple green. So at Navitas, these are the type of pathway we available for students coming from example IGCSE here. So you will join us for foundation, or we call it diploma stage 1 in Australia, and university transfer program applicable in New Zealand, for example, and global student service success program in the US, basically equivalent to the kind of pre-U level when you join us. So basically our foundation or diploma level stage 1 are available from 8 months to 12 months. And normally we also have 3 intakes in a year. That is why it makes it so flexible for students from IGCSE students who completed exam in November, get their result in January, to join us in June, to join us in February. But if you find it too rushed, we have June intake, you see. So basically even IGCSE students get result in August. If you find that too rushed to join us in October, we have February intake also as well. So basically the 3 intakes in a year for most of our foundation program or diploma stage 1 in Australia give you a lot of flexibility to join us at any time and eventually merge on to the university bachelor first year program. We also have students who have A-level students who actually do not meet the marks to the university. Okay, so they are given another opportunity to join the university by doing year 1 program with us, that is diploma stage 2 in Australia, or we call international year 1 in the UK usually, and then student merge into the second year. So basically, all these options that even IGCSE student can have the options to have a package offer from foundation to the year 1 program to the year 2 program at the university later on. As I mentioned, our program here, even master level here, for the diploma foundation, less than 30 students per class. So students really get a lot of support and progression onto the university second year without any losing time if you look at the progression route here. And basically, if you look at it here, you can have different options. If you decided to stay in Malaysia to continue A-levels, you still have the options to join us for 1 year before merge to the university second year, or for IGCSE students who are ready now going on board, you can join us from foundation to the degree straight away, or to from foundation to the year 1 program and then to the year 2 program. And another advantage for us when you join us from foundation level, especially IGCSE students and also A-level students, basically we do have some programs that is quota program where we talk about like physiotherapy, occupation therapy, program. All these are quota program or competitive at the university. So what we do, we will give you an offer from foundation program and a conditional offer from the university for the year 1 program or the year 2, depending on which stage you join. And as long as you meet the requirement as stated on the offer letter, a guaranteed place will be available for you when you progress on to the year 2 or the year 1 program. That is the advantage of joining Navitas also as well. If you want to have a secure, competitive program, eventually no need to compete with other students with other qualification, because we guarantee progression for you. So basically, if you look at our track record here, we have about 90% of our students actually progress on to our institution partners, that is the university, and 98% satisfied with the program quality and the support that we given to them. If you look at it here, even we are talking about 80% pass rate and also retention rate that is more than 85%. We have a very good track record over the years, helping our students have a seamless transition from foundation or year 1 to the university later on. So in terms of the institution that we offer at Navitas, if you can see here, we are actually at every part of the world. So we have the options for Australia, UK, Europe, Canada, US, New Zealand, as well as even Dubai also as well. Of course, today our focus will be Australia as the destination. So in terms of the partner institution, if you look at in Australia that we work with, we have a wide range of institutions here. You might be questioning that why actually at Navitas a lot of university that we partner with are not actually research intensive university like Group of 8, because we focus a lot on our partner institution where they are they are offering the program with graduate outcome focus. So for example, like Curtin University is actually number 1 employed, number 1 university in Western Australia in Perth in terms of employment rate. Even Deakin University is also number 1 employment rate in Melbourne also as well. These are the set of university that we offer right on campus at the university in Australia. But if you want to venture out to Singapore, we have Curtin University, Sri Lanka, we have Eric Bowen, and then Murdoch University in Dubai. And the other university we have only in New Zealand that will be University of Canterbury, South Island of New Zealand. Okay, so in terms of Australia, if you see our footprints here, we have partner with all these universities to offer their foundation program or the year 1 and pre-master program. As you can see here, we are actually located in every part of Australia, except at the Northern Territory as well as Tasmania. So the rest of it, basically here, you can see that we have the east side and the west side. And basically, when you study in Australia also as well, in different part of the state in Australia, you are also eligible to actually apply for post-work study visa upon graduation in your degree. So when you graduate, for example, in Perth, you are eligible to apply for 3 years post-work study visa to work in Australia after graduation. So there are another parts, like example in Melbourne or in Sydney, you are only allowed to apply for 2 years post-work study visa. So in different part in Australia also as well, there are some migration point actually awarded if you were to study in the different state also as well, where it will add on to your migration point. Because in Australia, when you when you apply for migration, they go on point system. So for example, in Perth, you get additional 5 points. Even in Adelaide, you get additional 5 points for your migration. So these are some of the factors that some of our students also looking at in terms of like post-work study visa. We talk about migration point, things like that. They do consider also as well as location, when all these things will be actually play a part in terms of another selection criteria when you choose the university. So in terms of Navitas, other than the pathway in foundation, first year uni, we also work with the university to run managed campuses. It's something like in Malaysia where we use the terminology like foreign branch campuses. So we have branch campuses in Sydney, as well as actually in Singapore and Dubai. All these institutions here, you can see these 4 universities from Australia are located in different parts of Australia and in overseas. Basically, all these are actually offer identical programs as the main campus. So for example, the program at La Trobe, Melbourne are similar to the one that we offer in La Trobe, Sydney campus. So this will allow students to have transfer campus along the degree program as long as you transfer to the same program. And the other advantage joining our managed campuses is also as well, our program are run on 3-semester basis. So basically you can fast track your degree from a 3 years business degree to a 2 years degree. So in a way, you are saving on 1 year living cost and 1 year time duration of study. So you graduate earlier. So this is some of the advantages for some students who are looking in different location, as well as the fast track your degree program. So in terms of Australia, there are so many areas of programs available, from architecture right up to education, science, tourism, psychology, geology, things like that. So in terms of our partner institution here, if you can see here, they do offer all this range of programs. But in terms of what do they specialize in, that most students want to find out, like like for example, like Curtin University, what do they actually really good at? So what I'm going to do for the next few slides to share with you which are the type of programs and which are the universities that you can consider if you were to join Navitas for the foundation program or the year 1. So if you look at business or commerce in Australia, where you want to do like accounting, finance, marketing, international business, business analytics, we are talking about big data now. So basically, these are the set of university that I will recommend you to consider in terms of the business program. So this actually in Australia, most of these universities, normally the first year are common. The second year, that is where you specialize in. And in Australia also, there are flexibility for you to do a 1 major or double major, or it could be even 1 major and double minor, that you still complete within the 3 years degree programs. Okay, there's no extension of duration if you were to do even double major. So that is the advantage of studying in Australia, where you will be able to mix and match your degree program compared to some other countries. When you apply, you have to decide what you want to study already. But a lot of students undecided between in the commerce area or business area, what areas you want to do. So you sometimes might need 1 year to think about what you want, or have tasted in some subject before you decided your major, minor, or the specialization. That is the beauty of Australian education, where they allow you to still think about the areas that you want to study normally in the second year, where is where you start to specialize in also as well. In terms of hospitality or tourism, you can consider like Eric Cowan, Griffith University, Western Sydney University, and as well as La Trobe College in Melbourne. So these are the universities that actually are very good in hospitality and tourism. In terms of mass communication, films and TV, journalism, PR, or even sometimes event management will fall under communication. These are the set of university that you can consider if you want to join Navitas group of colleges. These are all the university are very hands-on in their programs, and they really actually really bring out in terms of the students' potential. And that is where we talk about again the graduate outcome when you graduate out from the university. And for architecture, for design, for example, design could be in the area like graphic design, 3D, illustration, product design, interior design, fashion design. These are all the university that you can consider. And basically, some students might ask, like, do I require any portfolio to apply for architecture or design even during the foundation year? I will say that all our institutions here, I will say that they do not require any skill set required even from your IGCSE. So during the foundation, we will be able to teach you all the basic drawing skill for you to get your footstep correctly, so that when the time you progress on to the university first year, you really have the basic drawings or the skills drawing skills set required to start your year one program. In terms of like engineering, there are a variety of engineering now. We are talking about chemical, civil, electrical, environmental, mechanical, mechatronic, mining, petroleum, software engineering. Then even we talk about all the different engineering available in Australia. These are the set of universities that actually offer the variety of engineering areas that you can consider. So again, normally engineering students will have the first year flexible and then choose their specialization in the second year. Even some universities also allow you to combine, for example, like civil and environmental engineering as a double major within engineering. So if these are the things that you're looking at, basically we do have institutions here that offer you the flexibility to combine your different engineering specialization or the majors that you look for. And now we are talking about like the IT world, things like that. Basically in terms of computer science or IT related, it could be even computer science now, their specialization like cybersecurity, AI, data science, or even the IT area, you have like user experience design, networking system, all those. These are the set of university that we work with in Australia that you can consider doing your foundation day or year one, because all these universities have a very, very specialized program. So for example, Eric Cowan University is #1 in terms of cybersecurity in Australia. And then even Flinders University, they do have very strong computer science related in AI, in robotics, things like that. So these are the things that you can consider, because all these universities really preparing you for the workforce. Okay, so in terms of health sciences, basically, for example, even a lot of students asking about biomedical science, sometimes it might fall under the science or it might fall under the health sciences. Then you have like nutrition, occupational therapy, pharmacy, physio, speech pathology. All these actually are health sciences related program. When we talk about health sciences related program like nursing, physio, speech, pharmacy, occupational, even nutrition, dietetics, all those are quota program or competitive program in Australia. So they take very limited international students. So students who join us from foundation or the year one program, you will be given a package offer from the university. That is where you are guaranteed a place at your foundation program when you start your degree program, when you start your degree program, as long as you meet the foundation grades. So that is where the advantage of joining Navitas is that you have a progression to the competitive program at the first place when you first join us at the foundation level, because all these places at the university are allocated to you when you accept the offer, when we give you the conditional offer also as well. So indirectly, if a students who are looking for competitive program, this is I will say it will be a good option for you to head start, because you will get a guaranteed place when you meet the requirement to progress on to the university first year for all these competitive programs. In terms of sciences program also as well, is very popular in Australian university. Basically, there are areas like agriculture, biochemistry, pure chemistry, environmental science, marine science, food science, geology, mathematics, statistics, things like that. So we have all this range of university. They actually offer various sciences areas that you can consider where they are good at. Okay, so basically for like La Trobe, they have agribusiness and agricultural science, all those that you can do. So even like Griffith University is very famous for marine science program. They have environmental science with marine biology, things like that. So these are the things that you can consider. Even Deakin University is very strong, like in terms of like forensic science, or even Flinders University also forensic science. So these are the things that you can consider in various programs. So not to worry, be in touch with any expert here, and they will be able to, streamline with you all the different institutions that we offer that offer different pathway programs for you. Okay, in terms of the areas of studies. And in terms of the entry requirement, if you look at this here, for foundation itself, typically, we say only ranges depending on the colleges and the program that you choose. Normally for IGCSE, we look at 3 to 4 subjects in academic to join our foundation program. For SPM students, we are looking at 3 to 5 academic subjects. So in terms of the English requirement, we are looking at IELTS, TOEFL, or PTE. But for IGCSE student, we can consider English first language or second language with a C and above for entry into certain program. But of course, for some program, for example, like nursing, education, they will require IELTS upon applications when you join our foundation. So if you look at the flow chart here, from IGCSE SPM student, you will be able to have an options with us to do foundation, or you can progress on to the university first year. Alternatively, you can spend another year with us here before you progress on to the university second year. Okay, so you have the options to do 2 levels of study with us, or 1 level of study with us before joining the university. In terms of A-level students, if you meet the university requirement and you would like to go for direct entry into the first year program, you can consider our La Trobe University, Western Sydney U, Curtin Singapore, or Murdoch University, where the entry requirement, we are looking at 2 to 3 best A-level subjects, minimum of 24 points in IB, and then 4 to 5 passes in UEC academic subjects. And again, here we do take SPM 1119 or IGCSE English to meet our English requirement, similar to IB English. English will be considered for entry into the into the program. In terms of the A-level students, if you say, oh, the university required 3 A-levels with maybe 3 Bs, for example. If you have a 2 Bs and 1 C, don't feel sad about it, because we still have an options for you to join us through the diploma program, or we call the year 1 program here, by taking in only 2 A-level passes as opposed to the university where they normally look at 3 A-levels. Okay, even there is a combination that you can also consider with our A-levels with 1 passes with 2 AS level also as well. And even you look at the IB score, is we require minimum 22 points, and UEC is 2 to 5 passes in UEC academic subject. So indirectly, the university giving students who A-levels who do not really do well another opportunity to join us here, to join the university also as well, at the diploma level here, before progressing on to the university second year. If you look at it here again, we don't, students don't lose time. But the thing that what we do is like, although we can take in student with a lower grades, remember the classes of the class size of our students is only 30 students per class. That is where the attention, the supports, academically, all those will be given to the student to brush you up to meet the level of the students who go into direct entry to the first year and merge into the university second year. Okay, so a lot of the students, as I mentioned, if you see the first few slides that I briefed you, 90% of our students progress onto the university because of all those support that we're given to them to really to give them the really good transition and brush them up academically to progress onto the second year. Okay. So in terms of tuition fees in Australia, normally this range from 23,000 to 35,000 for foundation, or even at the degree level is ranging from 30,000 to maybe 40 over thousand per year. Okay, and in terms of living cost, it varies from one city to another. Normally for the immigration in Australia, they require about 21,000 Australian dollars to 22,000 Australian dollars as an evidence of funds for you in terms of living costs in Australia. But again, depending on your lifestyle, because some cities, I have students actually, for example, in Adelaide, the living cost for the students might be as low as 18,000. Again, it's depending on your lifestyle, depending on the type of accommodation you are getting. Okay, and in terms of scholarship at Navitas, we do offer a wide range of scholarship from all the institutions. So for example, we do have like scholarship from La Trobe College that offer like 4,000 for the foundation. But when you do well in the foundation with 70% and above, for example, there are opportunity for you to get the university scholarship, for example, like up to 30% every year until you graduate. Okay, another example is that we do have students join our Ainsbury Foundation with up to 50% scholarship for foundation. When they actually progress on to University of Adelaide, if you meet the requirements, you will be able to get up to 10% scholarship definitely from Ainsbury progression scholarship. But of course, if you do well, you can apply for other university scholarship also as well. So we also have online study scholarships. For example, in University of Canterbury in New Zealand, they offer online scholarship because their foundation can be done online. In the event that you think that you do not want to actually start your foundation physically in Australia, in New Zealand, you can consider University of Canterbury to study online and then actually move on to degree first year physically when you finish your foundation in 2023, and they offer up to 15% scholarship for the online study. On top of it, if you study online, you also save on GST in New Zealand another 15%. So it means that you save on about 30% of your tuition fees if you study online with University of Canterbury. Okay, so basically for all our programs now starting next year, all our foundation are physically conducted. So it means that you have to arrive in Australia to start your foundation program, whether it's February, June, or October intake. We no longer offer the online options. The only options just now I mentioned to you will be University of Canterbury. Okay. So in terms of after your study, a lot of students say, what benefits studying in Australia? So normally in Australia, one thing is like during your program at the university, you are given opportunity to join some internship or job opportunity. So normally I advise students to try to actually get some internship done during your study, because that will help you to secure your job even before you graduate, a job before you graduate, secure a job before you actually graduate. A lot of times students, basically they get a very good reference during their internship period of time. That is where they also connect you with the industry before you graduate. Try to take the advantage of internship, and or we call the actually internship, job placement, things like that. Make full use of your summer holiday to go on internship. And even some program in Australia, they do have internship incorporated. Okay, so that is where you will be able to see that the program. And of course, in Australia also as well, there are quite a number of universities that we work with, like UniSA. They partner with all the example. Recently, they launched a program called Digital Business. They partner with Essential in terms of the program. So part of the internship that the students can do at Essential is during their program is during their holiday they can go work as Essential as a consultant, as an intern. That is where you will be able to add to your CV better. Okay, and in terms of the visa, when students are granted student visa, if you are above 18 years old in Australia, you are actually your visa come with work permit also as well. Students are allowed to work 40 hours every 2 weeks. So this one normally student will use that as to gain some part-time experience. At the same time, you can gain some money to help you on the living cost also as well. So currently the minimum pay in Australia, even you work in McDonald's, you know, or restaurant, minimum pay is about $21 Australian dollars per hour. So imagine you work 40 hours for 2 weeks, so you get about $800 Australian dollars. That might cover actually up to your half month living costs also as well. And in terms of like upon your graduation, as I mentioned just now, like post-work study visa, depending on the state where you study, you are eligible to work up to 2 years or 3 years of your visa. Okay, but in Australia, okay? And then again, now even government, because due to the pandemic, they are increasing some of the work visa for some category of qualification that you graduate up to 4 or 5 years also as well. And the other thing, again, if we are looking for migration, then please do consider the state that actually give you additional migration point. That is where another thing that a lot of students, when they select university, they look at the program, they look at the migration opportunity, they look at the post-work study opportunity, and of course the university that give you opportunity to work as internship, go for internship or part-time. And even at the university also as well, they also give you another opportunity to go on, is the study abroad opportunity. A lot of university, our university will give you opportunity to study maybe abroad 1 semester or 1 year, especially in your 2nd year or 3rd year, in another country, where you will be able to credit transfer back whatever you study there. So take this opportunity also as well to widen your horizon when you study in Australia. Okay, so basically that's all from me, and this is my contact details. If you have any questions, feel free to email us, or you can actually contact Edu Expert. And basically what I will see here, and I have a questions here. Okay, I will do a bit stop sharing here first, and let me read the questions here. Okay, so sorry, okay, there's a questions asked about Form 6 students to study in Australia after STPM. Yes. So basically, Muni, as I mentioned just now, we have a pathway other than A-levels, UEC, or IB. That is a pathway that students can choose to join us. You are going into the direct entry to the university under the managed campus like La Trobe, Sydney campus, Curtin, Singapore, all those, by using STPM for direct entry. But for students who do not meet the requirements, in case in the event that your child, apply to the university, for example, apply to Curtin University and fall short of 1 or 2 points, and the university say that I can't take you into the first year uni, you can consider to our diploma program, that is the first year equivalent year program, and then merge to the university 2nd year. So there are opportunity for you to still start the university by joining Navitas colleges first before you go into the university 2nd year. Okay. Definitely, yes, the university in Australia do recognize STPM qualification. Okay. Is there any other questions from the floor that you can just type or unmute yourself if you have any questions?
Wai-Yen, can I ask you a question? Because I received this question from a student earlier.
Okay.
This student is asking what are the kind of jobs that are easy to get in Australia after graduation?
Okay.
What should they study to increase their chances of getting a job, essentially?
Yeah, because you see, one thing that some students will refer also as well in terms of like, because in Australia, there's a website called Migration website. So some students will use that as a guideline to see what are the jobs in need in Australia. Okay, so that is where you will be able to see that, or what are the job scope that the government is looking at in terms of having the manpower there. But of course, in terms of the next 10 years, 20 years down the road, around the world, if you can see that we actually we do need people from the health sector, for example, like nurses, occupational therapists, physiotherapists, nutritionists, all those, because the world are facing a lot of aging population. So even population health program are also important. Now we are talking about the pandemic of COVID-19, you see. So these are the areas in health sciences that students who are interested to venture into the health industry you can consider all this area, even pharmacy program. So in the areas of like engineering, there are areas like renewable engineering, computer engineering, software engineering, mechatronics. When we talk about industrial 4.0, where a lot of countries now are moving to industrial 5.0, all these engineering parts is needed. Even you talk about the civil development with environmental engineering are also important areas. So every aspect of industrial, actually, to be honest, there are demands. It's just that maybe you need to find out what areas you want to do. And in terms of like the data science space, in the data science area, you do the industry do require students from computer science who will be able to develop the software to generate data. That is where we talk about the IT side of the data science expert. And then from there, even data science itself, basically, then you do have actually the data science, analysts that we require. That is could be the mathematicians, it could be the data science statistic people who use the data generator to do the analysis. And then we have another part of the people from the business sector that actually we call maybe business analytics, business analysts, things like that. They will use all the data generated, analyzed by the mathematicians, and to make business decision makings. So these are the things that sometimes there are so many broad areas. Another thing we are talking about also as well as the climate change. A lot of things actually changes, and then we talk about even the law side. You have like now we are talking about the cyber security, where we talk about cyber law, things like that. There are so many areas you can go in all the different areas down the road where it's required all this expertise. And another thing that I want to emphasize a lot also as well, in terms of the STEM program, for example, we do need biotechnologists, we need pure chemists, we need like agricultural specialists, things like that, because we also have a growing population. When we talk about growing population, where you can see that a lot of issue now, we have like food. That's why you can see even food technologists now are using cell to develop actually even like you see like a stick from the cell itself that is from the lab. So eventually all these things we really need all these experts in all different industry. So I would say that do speak to actually edu expert here in terms of consulting. What are the areas that is available that we can do a bit spending time with you to narrow down in terms of your strength, what you have, at the same time what you might think that you would like to do that actually enable you to secure job, things like that. But again, other than going into the program, remember there's opportunity for you to go into the internship, in industrial placement during your study. Please make full use of all this opportunity, because that is another way for you to increase your chance to get employed in Australia. Okay. So there's another question here, is that hard to get a student visa? I would say it would not hard to get a student visa as long as you can prove that you are a genuine student that wanted to study in Australia. So when you apply for the program and also during the visa, edu expert will be able to advise you what documents require, what are the information you need to write in your visa and to enable you to show that you are a genuine student that you are going to Australia to study. So generally Malaysian, we have very small percentage that have rejection, but so far majority are successful rate. And even at Navitas, most of the students have a very high successful visa rate in terms of approval rate, student visa approval rates. Yeah, because we do screen check students first on certain things, and even some colleges will ask you for certain information to enable you to be able to put that into your student visa. Okay, so in terms of engineering, okay, just let me read through first. I understand the question first. Entering University of Adelaide or UniSA, is year 2 transfer also eligible for their discount? What is it? Okay, so basically yes, depending on the program you go for, because some of the program, example, if for our Ainsbury, we do not have the diploma program enter into the year 2 with University of Adelaide. They do have foundation package with the year 1. But for UniSA, there are some scholarships available for year 2 progression, but the scholarship might not be up to 30 or 50%. But of course, UNICEF Adelaide for students who finish foundation is minimum 10%, but you are also eligible to apply for higher quantum for other scholarship depending on your eligibility. Okay, so for UniSA at this moment, I will say that transfer student, there are some scholarship, but not as high as some other institution in other locations. Okay, even for example, like Curtin University, they do offer 12.5% for foundation or the diploma stage 2 program. And then when students progress on to the degree, they get another 12%. Okay, so these are some of the progression, and different universities will have different progression scholarships. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Ryan. Thank you for the insight. Another question here. Can you clarify on, just now you mentioned there are some locations where you can get a longer post-study work visa or eligibility. How does that work? In which locations around Australia would students be able to do that?
Okay, if you don't mind, let me just share the screen again, easier, okay?
Sure.
So that I can show the map, right? Okay, just a minute, let me just go to the map here so that it's easy to visualize. Okay. Okay, sorry, let me stop here first. Let me share again. Sorry, okay. So basically, if you look at the, sorry, I think I clicked. Sorry, just give me 1 minute. Okay, in terms of post-work study visa, you see, basically, if you want a 3 years post-work study visa currently, that will be in Perth, Adelaide, Canberra, basically even Gold Coast. Okay, so in terms of Brisbane, it's a 2 years post-work study visa. Melbourne also is a 2 years post-work study visa. But because Deakin University, for example, Deakin University have 3 campuses in Melbourne. Okay, so one campus is located in Melbourne, a suburb of Burwood. There's another campus actually is an hour from Melbourne, that is Geelong campus, and they also have another quite close to 2 hours, that is Warrnambool. These 2 campuses, that is Warrnambool as well as Geelong, students are eligible for a 3 years post-work study visa because the location for the university campuses located outside Melbourne is considered regional campuses. So in Australia, basically the different states will categorize the location differently, and that is where it's important for you to also get clarification from edu expert here also as well, when you want to apply and consider this as part of your criteria in selecting the university, to make sure that the locations are located in considered regional or regional city. That is where the government will allow you to have a 3 years post-work study visa. Even Griffith University, if you were to study in Brisbane, for example, you get 2 years, but you study in Gold Coast, you get a 3 years post-work study visa. Okay.
Interesting. All right. Very interesting. Thank you very much. Are there any more questions from the audience? All right. If there are no more questions, thank you very much for attending the session this afternoon. If you would like to revisit this session, if you came in late just now, you could go to Edu Expert's Facebook page, and you will see a replay of this session in our Facebook page. All right, so if there are no more questions, thank you very much, Ryan, for today's very insightful sharing. We will be taking a 10-minute break. The next session will begin at 3 p.m. We'll be talking about financing options. It's by Affin Bank. They'll be talking about their education loan product that can help students to fulfill your dreams of studying abroad. So if you have time this afternoon, please log on again with the same link at 3 p.m. To find out more about that interesting session next. All right, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you again.